That's okay. Let's see if we can get it to work this time or whatever. If you know. So, yeah. So I locked myself out of the apartment. I got in and got some coffee and all that. But yeah, this natural medicine does seem to work, although it's really it's I think it's the thyme. I'm pretty sure it's the thyme in the product that is really banging me down. It's very sad. But yeah, maybe one could make the product without any thyme. In any case, I was listening to a radio show, and they go pretty bashing on Eric Phelps in that show, and it's like we don't have that many people actually standing up and speaking about the Jesuits and all that, and then and people that are into this are bashing each other. It's just like we were few who actually speaks on the subject, and yeah, and it's a huge topic, you know. So in this radio interview, they talk about that Eric Phelps was leaving out something and blah blah blah. You know, like you know, it's a huge topic. You know, you can't. You know, it's like it's uh, it's just incredible. You know, you can speak about something and you can, you know, it's well whatever. So this speaking about that and yeah, it's kind of oh well. So just yeah, just listening to it. It's like 2 hours. I've gone through a good amount of time. There's one guy on the radio show. There are three in total that I do not know who is. Who might actually have some good stuff. But yeah, it's kind of sad that that the attacks are going this and that and all that. And I guess it's pretty easy to get into it, sadly. But it's like you never find anyone you agree 100% with, you know? It's just impossible. Um, you can find issues in every single one that you do not agree with, you know? Again, you know, find me someone you agree 100% with except in regards of Jesus, you know, Yeshua. Can you find anyone, you know, pretty much that you agree 100% with? Um, it's kind of hard to do, you know. At least I haven't found anyone, you know. There will always be some things that you do not agree with, you know. That's just how it is. And we're called to be disciples, right, and grow. You know, someone that just become a Christian, you know, is starting to grow at that point, so the person won't, know, might not know what a person that has, been researching for 10 years knows, and thereby, it's so you can't really, just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that they're not a Christian, right? Like it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of things that I have not solidified yet, in regards of things. Just trying the best that I can do. But that doesn't mean that I don't have mistakes and issues, right? It's an growing thing where you figure things out. It's a huge topic overall, and and yeah. Of course, there are people out there trying to mislead, but you also have to take it into account that there are people that are not trying to mislead, but just trying their best, um, and if you find if 90% of the things that the person is speaking is true and the 10% is not, or 95% or something. You just have you have to discern, and you have to grow in regards of in the right direction. But it's not necessarily on purpose. Of course, there are, of course, we know that there are Roman agents out there that purposely try to, you know, fix leaven into the things. But we also have to understand that there are some that just try their best to their best ability to try to figure things out, and so so that's how it is. Like we have people out there, and if one really, you can find issues here and there that, and the question is, if oneself could be wrong on a thing, on something, and although of course you don't think that you are wrong, right? I wouldn't believe that I was wrong in regard. I'm trying the best that I can do, and that of course is my conviction. Like, I absolutely believe that the Earth is round. It's I don't see any. I've researched the topic. I don't see any. I understand why this theory might have been promoted and why it became popular at the instant that it became popular. Why it there was something else that was actually found out. Scientifically observations that ruined it for a lot of these so-called scientists out there. And but then the flat Earth came, and thereby no one knows about these findings, that these 3 satellites, because they had to, they couldn't accept those data that was coming back, so they had to send another satellite to, and they came back with the same results, and you have 3 satellites. I don't know if they have fixed any more in regards, but there's at least 3 satellites agreeing with the data. They thought it was like, the first data they got, they thought it was like interference from things, to make this data, because this data couldn't be true. So they sent up another satellite which was, better in regards of shielding it and all that, and it came back with the same data, and then a third one and all that, and I don't know all the details and all that, but all these things. And one of the phenomenons was in regard to the axis of evil. There was 2 phenomenons at least that they figured out. The first one was the axis of what they named axis of evil, and the other phenomenon was that we had galaxies and stars around us. So we are in the middle, and we have galaxies and suns in clusters around us. Or you could maybe say the sun or whatever, but anyway, at least this little pinpoint where we are, and we have clusters of stars and galaxies around us. Just kind of, that was one of the, but it's some time since I looked into it and all that, but yeah, that was what flat Earth pretty much took away. We're taking our eyes in another direction, where we should have focused on these data, scientifically data coming out, which was ruining it for the so-called scientists, those doctors of philosophy and all that. So that's something to look into if anyone wanna. And I really should also, get all the details and sum things up. We have a lot of things we can sum pretty quickly up to show that the world is not like 13.78 billion years old and all that. Soft tissue in dinosaur bones, carbon-14 findings in dinosaur bones, and dinosaurs actually was named before 1841 dragons, and probably was also called dragons a little into the thing before they invented the word dinosaur. You know, people are probably still using dragon, you know, because they had used that in the past. We have dragon histories, you know, stories, history about dragons. When they say, well, we don't have any stories about dinosaurs, well, we have about dragons, and dragons was, you know, dinosaurs were named dragons before 1841. We have evidence of a worldwide flood all over the world. Like, look at all the fossils, the coal, the oil, and so forward. These layers was put down very quickly. So we have a lot of information that we could actually gather together and concentrate, which proves the Bible, what the Bible says. Now, but of course, you know, the Satanists will always try one way or another. You have like people saying, well, you know, if the Bible were true, we would have more, you know, documents on it, you know. And then you find out that there's, what, hundreds, over 100, I can't remember the number, 100 and something, or maybe 200, I can't remember the number. But we have a huge amount of flood stories, you know. And it would be nice to see the whole list in regards of, you know, every single one in regards to these flood stories, and you know, so you have the evidence for it. But I can't remember the number. There's differences in regards of, but it's a lot, you know. It's a huge amount of flood stories and written accounts and all that. So then we go from, you know, oh, well, you know, there would be more information, and then we go over to the other side saying, well, the Bible just, you know, took it from something else. So it's just, you know, we never hit the middle ground, right? You know, in regards to, hey, the Bible is true, you know, maybe. Maybe because the Bible actually speaks about that. Yeah, but anyway, people will take it one direction, then the other direction, and all that. This is not coffee, this is water. Well, anyway, it's just sad. It's just sad when I'm thinking, you know, I can find issues with every, you know, Martin Luther, you know, Zwingli, you know, I can find an issue with anyone if I look for it, okay? It's just not, but that's not how we are to, you know, okay, he has an issue here, I don't agree with that, okay. Well, the thing is, we're all battling the same lies and deceptions, right? You know, it's just, and how many is actually standing against these things, right? You know, very, very few in these times, you know. Very few at the moment, and I'm not sure it helps actually attacking each other, you know, in regards to that. So it's just interesting. Like, yeah, you know, I've seen in regards of, I would call myself a historicist. You know, if you look into in regards of the idea of preterism, historicism, and futurism, and all that, and I think that's. Is there more than that? That was a good video on that by, I wonder where that actually was. I know I looked into it yesterday. What was it called? And he's going into these different, you know, things, and in regards to what the Jesuits was, you know, in regards to preterism and futurism and all that. Yeah, you also have to remember, one of these so-called, you know, one of these historicists or whatever, you know, he calls himself a historicist, right? He's just, so, but he's, what was it? Oh, I forgot it. Anyway, I forgot it. I guess I forgot it. I guess my brain is just not working. But I found out, you know, you can get really quickly into issues, you know. You can have historicists, you know, people that proclaim them historicists, to call you out as a futurist and say, hey, this is futuristic, and attack you on that. And I'm like, no, you know, it's just in regards of, I'm just following, you know, I understand that the papacy is the Antichrist, but you still have future prophecies that is yet to fulfill, you know, to be fulfilled yet. So then there was, well, this is, that's futurism. Like, no, but you have future prophecies. It's not like the papacy is not. It still have a future. It's going to be destroyed at some point when Jesus Christ returns and all that. And in regards of preterism, Nero, which they are pointing at in regards of, well, Nero would also be representing the beast, because the beast is 7 heads. So you already have, the heads going from the beginning of Romanism. You have Rome beginning as a kingdom, and then it goes, the different heads of the different, and then you have the 6 in the times of John in the 1st century, and thereby, I think if I recall correctly, Nero would be one of these representing the 6th head. Nero was, when was Nero? I can't remember. Nero, the 5th emperor of Rome. He was adopted by the Roman emperor. Yeah, but when did he live? Okay, 30. Well, left. Let's see here. It says he reigned 54 to 68, as far as I can see here. I'm not sure if it's the right info. Yeah. Rome, Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, AD 37 to 68, was the 5th Roman emperor and the last emperor of the Julio-Claudian dynasty. Of course, we already know that 5 heads, when people try to fix this in regards of Caesars and all that, and it's not going to work. But you already have had 5 in the time of John. And, well, of course, it depends in regards of when you believe that the book of Revelation, of course, was written, right? 5 has been, 1 is, and so forward. But a head, if you look at the heads in the biblical sense, you have like a rule, You have like the beast with 4 heads, right? In regards to the Grecian, you have 4 kingdoms, yet all of the 4 kingdoms are part of the Greek nature, the beast, And here we have 1 Roman beast with 7 heads, And you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you have the 6, which is in the time of John. Then you have the 7, which is just for a short time. And then you have the 8, which is one of the 7. Now you have to, the 7 would be the dukes, and then the 8 would be the papacy. But you can have multiple, rulers, would probably be the kings, or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, the first head start off as kings. But you have Nero representing the beast, of course. And we know, the thing is, we know this has to be Rome in the book of Revelation, because the book of Daniel, you have the last beast. And what is the last beast? We're already in the time of the last beast, of the Babylonian, that's golden head. We have the Medo-Persian, which I don't know why we actually say Medo-Persian, because it seems to, well, maybe the Persian, as I understand it, is the one that rises up, is the greater horn, or greater beast, whatever you want to, you can do horn, beast, king, whatever, you have these different ways of portraying things. But anyway, but in any case, so you have the Medo-Persians, then you have the Grecians, and what come afterwards? The Roman beast, of course. And on the Roman beast, there's a little horn coming up and all that, and we get more details in the book of Revelation. Now this beast, this last 4th beast, is going to be here until Jesus Christ returns and destroys it, and destroys the statue of gold, silver, bronze, and iron clay, At that point, when the iron and clay, bang! So, as far as I can see, we are in the period of the iron and clay. We have been in the period of the steel, in regards to Jesus, when he was here. And as far as I can see, we're in the period now of the iron and clay now. So we are very close, really. We're very close, and we could be a lot closer than we maybe think. All these things which are written could very quickly come into fulfillment in our days. It's just getting closer and closer each and every day. But in any case, so we know Rome, or this last beast, this Roman beast, is the last beast there is. Then the man, what do you call it? The man empire, whatever you want to call it, the kingdom, the man, the God man. That's a God man with his kingdom is going to take over when he ruins the Roman, and cast the Antichrist into the lake of fire and the false prophet as well, and set up his kingdom here on earth. Now that's the future. But anyway, so when people come around with this book of Revelation, beast, and say this and that and all that, that's not going to work. And how are you going to, make these Caesars, right? If you're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Caesars and all that, how many Caesars do you actually have in regards of making that work? And then, but of course, preterism want to shoot that in the past. So we don't need to look after anything, right? Because already, it just doesn't make any sense. Further, in regards to the book of Revelation, now I still have 2 places where I can see that we are, because I'm sick and tired of all these, and I guess I have to be careful in regards of, but people are like trumpet this and trumpet that, and some has a theory on this and some has a theory on that and all that. And of course, if they could be just trying, the best that they, possibly can and all that. And it's just nice to have someone, somebody, studied and, whatever. But I don't think I think there's a lot of field theories out there. And who knows, there might be more Roman agents out there than I, who knows, most of them might be Roman agents. I don't know. The thing is that we don't have that many actually speaking on things and all that. So, in any case. So, I've seen these theories of the trumpets being this and trumpets being that and all that. And I was kind of, so I was really, going into and, and fixing and finding out and trying to sort it out. And I can't see how we could be in the trumpets. How in the world are you going to get into the period of the trumpets? They're clearly still future, So there's 2 places I can pinpoint that we are in the book of Revelation. In the time of, the beginning of the book of Revelation. Now some believe, and I think it's the SDA that, and probably others that talks about that the churches are time periods. I'm a little in regards to that, but clearly the last church in regards to Laodicea would absolutely fit our nowadays world. It's just absolutely, they have their buildings and they have this and that and all that, but they are poor as they could ever be. It's incredible. They have just left sanity. They have left the Bible. They have just corruption on so many, any case, whatever. So that would be one place if we're going to take that as a time thing and all that. But then we have in regards to the horses, 1 horse, 2 horses, 3 horses, 4 horses. And I can't remember which horses comes first, but I think it's the white horse, right? Then you have the white horse, then you have what? The black horse is the last, right? No, the last horse is... I would need to look into that. But we have 4 horses and they get rule over 1/4 of the world and all that. And we clearly see people having, dying, because they're dying for the testimony of Jesus Christ. And that would be seal 5, I think. And then it's the seal 6, which has the tribulation. And the thing is, we haven't had the tribulation yet, the great tribulation. At some point, we'll have a huge tribulation in the world, where, yeah, Christians are going to be slaughtered to the left and the right. And of course, we have been butchered and slaughtered in the past history and all that. But that will be a period, a huge tribulation. I think most Christians can agree that the tribulation, that great tribulation, hasn't come around yet. Whether they are this or that or all that, I think most Christians would agree that we haven't had the huge, gigantic tribulation yet. Which, wow. Just thinking about how much depravity in the world and all that, and then thinking about how disgusting this period will be. But anyway, we know after the four horsemen has been here, we are told that there's people that have died. These were Christians, and they are told that they need to wait for some time because their brothers, it needs to be fulfilled. Their brothers and sisters is going to be killed as well. And then I think it's the sixth seal. I sadly don't have, because I'm moving over to the other apartment, so I sadly don't have the New Testament here. I don't think I have any New Testament actually anymore over here. That's very bad. I should actually have had it in my pocket. So of course I still have the Bible program on the computer, so I could have just opened that up, of course. But yeah, my brain is not working as it should. It's just but yeah, so people were that was Hour of the Truth, which they were attacking Eric Phelps, Jörg Brett, and somebody else who I don't know. Some years ago, I guess, attacking Eric Phelps on things, and it's like, anyway, how many do you actually have that speaks on the subject, right? So if someone makes some mistakes, that we all make mistakes, don't we? Anyway, let's see here. That would be chapter whatever, I don't know. And I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll written inside and on the back. That will be in regards to the scroll. And then we have, let's move a little forward. Yeah, here we go. Revelation 6, according to their point of in regards to chapters and all that. As far as I know, they were inserted later on. So we have the white horse, the red horse, and I guess the black horse, and then the pale horse or the green horse. And then the fifth seal, I saw under the slaughter place the beings of those having been slain for the word of God, Elohim it says here, and for the witness which they held. Well, what witness? Of course, in regards to Jesus Christ. And then they talked about, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, "How long, O Master, set apart and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth?" And there was given to each one a white robe, and they were told that they should rest a little while longer, until both the number seems to apparently have been inserted, I'm not sure, but that seems to be, until both the number of their fellow servants and their brothers who would be killed as they were was completed. So we have Christians that has been killed at that point. So we know lots of Christians have been killed in history and all that. So as far as I can see, we are either at seal 5 or the Laodicean, I can't even say it at the moment. But the thing is, the first 7 periods, the first 7 churches or congregations that are giving these letters are told this is for now, right? And then afterwards, then what is going to happen afterwards, right? That is told in, God is saying that in before before he goes into, let's see here. Can we find it? Write therefore what you have seen, both what is now and what shall take place after these. Okay, so both what is now and what shall take place after these. And when we go after the seven churches, then he talks about in regards of afterwards, you know. So let's see if we can find. So here we go. And to the messenger of the assembly in Laodicea, write: the Amen, the trustworthy and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God, says this. Let's see here. Okay, so chapter 4. After this is after the 7 letters. After this I looked and saw a door having been opened in the heaven, and the first voice which I heard was like a trumpet speaking with me, saying, Come up here, and I shall show you what has to take place after this. So this is the after this, right? So we have the now and after this, right? Now and after this. And this is the dividing point where this is after this. After these, 7, these letters. So, and then we get into the beast and these seals. But and when people talk about the book of Revelation and the trumpets and all that, or want to have everything to be fulfilled, even people that say they're historicists, I wonder in regards to that that lecture. I think I have the lecture. Really a good lecture, but I can't remember where I would have it. I was fixing it yesterday. It was really good in regards of. I did find some of them already open full history view. Okay, let's see here, and I did have the full. I found it in pieces, and I was like, I probably already have that in. I just can't remember what the name would be of it. But this is a former New Ager that talks about historicism and preterism and futurism, and the question is, where did I put it? And probably in the false prophets section I have here, but I just can't remember. Wow, my brain is just. It is kind of. But yeah, I also figure out apparently that one of these historicists that he was speaking about, also having fulfillment, he was going into the trumpet and all that. But he was also saying that actually those Christians in the past were talking about the 3.5, the time as actually 3.5 years, Which, when you actually see the one of the places where it actually is put in regards to the 1260 days or 3.5 years and all that, you can't have that as a day for a year principle, because this is the I think it's the sixth trumpet or something like that. I can't remember, but it's like this is at the end, This is at the end, but in any case, the tribulation haven't even. The Great Tribulation hasn't even begun yet. So, if we're going to say that we are in the 5th seal, then the horseman has to be already been released, right? Now, Alberto Rivera absolutely believed that those 4 horsemen had been released. I've been listening to him on that in regards of things, But he absolutely believed that they were in action in our days, that they already had been But I don't know. But in any case, if we are in the fifth seal, those four other seals would have to be released. You know. What is it called? Deception or something like that? Deception. Jesuit secret. I have so many videos. That's the problem in my video player. Deception, futurism, maybe future. No, historicism. Histor. No. No. That's just incredible. My brain just can't. You know. It was like yesterday or something like that. I was listening to this guy, and I found some of the 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Maybe it was on the mobile. So I don't know. It would be nice with some more coffee. Inigo. Yeah, that's in regards of. Uh-oh, what is happening on my mobile? Has it broken? I guess the video has broken. Still uploading although. So, yeah, but anyway, he had this wonderful, nice thing of... Maybe I have it in one of these... this is song, okay. This is in regards to Poland, where they are rebelling against anti-papist video. Adolf Hitler was a devoted Roman Catholic. Okay, well anyway, a synagogue of Satan, not the Jews. Yeah. No, doesn't seem to be. I wonder where I actually put these, that's a huge one.
Got fired.
World Bank. This is like.
Council Trend 1545.
Well, I guess I'll find it sometime at some point. But yeah, it was a pretty, it's a pretty good introduction to the. And he really pinpoints a lot of things. Setting words on how he felt in regards to the New Age, that becoming Christian and finding out how much more deception there really is. I guess I just have to take a break from all these. I have I think I have 100 videos in the video player just in the Jesuit section. 164. And of course I shouldn't have had, there's some videos that really doesn't belong there. Uh-oh, maybe I just...
This is the bottom.
Oh yeah. There's absolutely some videos that doesn't belong in there. Yeah. Anyway, maybe I can find it. Maybe in regards to YouTube, futurism, historicism. Nah. That's not in regards to. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's not. Don't make it too easy, right? But anyway, he was talking about preterism, and he had actually a nice picture that I actually wanted, but in regards to taking screenshots, it has a way of taking screenshots of both the screens, and but it would have been nice, so I would have known the source for this. But anyway, I should have the video somewhere.
From Protestant historicism to Jesuit.
Someplace. But anyway, he pretty much expresses what historicism is, and I would agree to that. But then, when you're talking to people into historicism, they will tell you that you're futurist apparently. And just you can't just throw away the future prophecies. You have to go where the Bible leads you to. So, but yeah, who knows why that is? Trip Christianity is infiltrated. Oh, I think I found it actually. This is the one.
I'd like to introduce.
This is called Christianity is infiltrated by the Jesuits. The real conspiracy, the Jesuit infiltration of Christianity. Well, I don't know why I have so many titles on it, but he talks about, preterism and historicism, and he seems to actually also have a Alberto Rivera
When the
into this.
and
And he explains some other things and all that, although I'm not sure in regards of his later reasonings and all that. But any case, the Book of Revelation, so, as far as I can see, we can only be two places, And if we are in the fifth seal, and why couldn't we be, later than the fifth seal? Well, because we have the tribulation in the sixth seal. And again, most Christians, I think, would agree that the Great Tribulation hasn't happened yet. And as far as I'm trying to collect the pieces, it seems to be at the Great Tribulation that will probably be the time where the Antichrist will have full dominion and, set up the image where it should not be. And if someone doesn't bow, you have the Nebuchadnezzar, he fixes, an idol, right? You can see how, Roman Catholics and all that, they will, kneel in front of a statue of the Pope. Oh, sorry, Pope. Yeah, that's, it's a Pope, yeah, the Pope. No, the Pope, the Poop. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the great stinking Poop have this image, have different images, and people will kneel and, pray, whatever, in front of the statues. And so I think it's just pretty much, a forerunner to what is going to be the end of the things, And we have Nebuchadnezzar also wanting this golden statue and all that. So the image of the beast, I don't think it's, when people are saying it's the United Nations or whatever, which seems to be, for example, Jörg pinpointing that I think this will be absolutely an idol, a statue, whatever, that is then coming to life, maybe with some technology in regards of whatever the case, the false prophet, which as far as I know is the Jesuits, who are gathering the whole world to worship the beast, and they will make this image and make it so it can speak, and that would be an image of the first beast, whoever is in the position at that point as the Antichrist, that will be the image of him. And if people don't bow in front of the idol, to worship, the image, what would be worship of the beast, what would be worship of Satan, well, then you are to die. So that seems, further in the Book of Revelation, where we get more puzzle pieces, that seems to be the place where these things probably would be going on. But I haven't collected all, I'm trying the best that I can. And then again, I probably will make mistakes, okay? I'm trying the best that I can. I'm trying the best that I can. It's not to say that I'm, it's, it's, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that I'm like a Roman agent or something if I get something wrong. I'm just trying. It's a huge amount of things, There's a huge amount of puzzle pieces to gather and I still need to do a lot of research, Well, that's as far as I can, I can gather, right? It's as far as I can. But we have in the Revelation 7, right? See here. See here. That's the 4th seal, then the 5th seal. And what's the oh here? And I look when he opened the 6th seal. Now again, if we can agree that the 6th seal is not fulfilled yet, why would we accept that people running with future trumpets and all that, saying that, oh yes, and then further fixing these trumpets, like I can't, there was this idea of taking the 6th trumpet or something, or 5th trumpet, I can't remember, to put it before the 1st trumpet. It's like, it's just messy, right? Why would you even do a thing like that? And many other things that is just out of, it's insane, anyway. But it's a timeline. We have, 1st seal, 2nd seal, 3rd seal, 4th seal, 5th seal, okay? It's a timeline. And then you have the trumpets. But anyway, that's, 1 trumpet, 2nd trumpet, 3rd trumpet, 4th trumpet, and all that, okay? Let's take it as it is, Anyway, and I looked when he opened the 6th seal and saw a great earthquake came to be. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of the heaven fell to the earth as a fig tree drops its unripe figs, being shaken by a strong wind. I do wonder if this is actually talking, because it doesn't mean, we already have some other things happening in the stars and the suns and all that, so this might be more of a symbolic meaning in regards of the, Israelites. But in any case, it's still something, but this would be future, as far as I can see. And heaven departed like a scroll being rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. And the sovereigns, or the kings of the earth, and the great ones, and the rich ones, and the commanders, and the mighty, and every slave, and every free one, hid themselves in the caves and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him sitting on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, because the great day of his wrath is come, and who is able to stand? Am I going too far in regards to the book of Revelation here? Yeah. No, let's just take further here. It should be in regards of the Great Tribulation, right? Oh yeah. Let's go back here, right? Because we have the 5th seal when he actually talks about it, right? And see here, we're going a little back. And there was given to each one a white robe, and they were told that they should rest a little while longer, until both the number of their fellow servants and their brothers who would be killed as they were completed. Where's the tribulation word? Maybe it's should be a word in regards to tribulation somewhere. I think actually maybe in the Danish that is actually in the, but we know that people have been killed, and there will be further people in the future. And we see in the, in this, let's see here, in the 6th seal, that we have a butchering of huge amount of people. So, but anyway, let's see here. And after this I saw 4 messengers standing in the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another messenger coming up from the rising of the sun, holding the seal of the living Elohim, our living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 messengers to whom it was given to harm the earth and the sea, saying, do not harm the earth, nor the sea, nor the trees, until we have sealed the servants of our God upon their foreheads. Now, these 144,000 are from the tribes of Israel. And then we see the Gentiles afterwards, right? But anyway, it's, they have all the sealing of the, these tribes, which interestingly don't have Dan in it. So it seems like Dan is counted as the Gentiles. But anyway, after this, I looked, after all these tribes has been, 144,000 here has been sealed. After this, I looked and saw a great crowd, which no one was able to count. So this is like an unnumbered, huge amount of people. Out of all nations and tribes and peoples and tongues, standing before the throne and before the Lamb, dressed in the white robes and palm branches in their hands. And I think we're actually getting to be told that these are from the tribulation, the great tribulation. Anyway, and crying out loud with the loud voice, saying, deliverance belongs to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb. And all the messengers stood around the throne. That would be all the Christians, right? Stood around the throne, and the elders and the 4 living creatures, and fell on their faces before the throne and worshipped God, saying, Amen, the blessing and the esteem and the wisdom and the thanksgiving and the respect and the power and the might to our God forever and ever. Amen. And there we go. And one of the elders responding, saying to me, who are these dressed in white robes, and where did they come from? So where did these come from? And I said to him, Master, you know. And he said to me, these are those coming out of the great distress. Well, the great tribulation, it would be translated into other version. We can go for King James Version here. And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, these are they which came out of the great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. So these are coming out from the great tribulation, being washed their robes, having washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Because of this, they are before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his dwelling place, and he who sits on the throne shall spread his tent over them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun strike them, nor any heat. Because the Lamb who is in the midst of the throne shall shepherd them, and lead them to the fountain of waters of life, and God shall wipe away every tear from their eyes. So here we have the 6th seal. And what happens in the 6th seal? The great tribulation happens in the great, in the 6th seal. From, when we see the 5th seal, already having Christians dying, already clearly having people who testify in regards of Jesus Christ having been butchered and slaughtered with the 4 horsemen, right? The 4 horsemen are already at the work, right? And we get to the 5th seal, that speaking, when and so forward. Well, wait until the rest of your brothers has been butchered, slaughtered, And then we see in the 6th seal that we have 144,000 of the Jews, or the Israelites, which of course one of the tribes would be the Jews, right? But, God knows who is from which tribe and all that, But in any case, it goes through the man. Now, of course, the Jewish tradition today is that it goes through the mother, which is an error. Just go look and read the Bible instead of these nonsense. Stop listening to. Just stop listening to these people and just go back to their own Bible. It just goes through the man. Why do you think that the genealogies, a man and 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 a man, you have how many women? Well, one in the genealogy of Mary, you have one woman, the rest are men. And you go to Luke, how many women in that? 0. Like, why? If it goes through the mother, why would it be, because it goes through the man. Anyway, there's only one exception in regards of the book of Matthew. That is when you have the last woman, the woman bearing the man-child in regards to Jesus Christ. So, 14. Anyway, that's minor issue in regard to that. You need to go to the, I think, the Aramaic or the Hebrew in regard to that minor issue. But you can figure out that that is a problem because it says that's 14, 14, 14. I mean, if you actually you find out 14, 14, 13, I think it's like that, you know. So you need to go to the Hebrew or the Aramaic to solve that issue. I can't remember if, but whatever the case, you know, you need to dig a little further in regards to that. That's the genealogy of Mary. I have no idea why people would, you know, flip that around. You know, just nonsense. The first one is Mary, and the one in Luke is Joseph's. It says it, you know, Joseph in the Luke. If the one in Luke is Joseph's, the other one has to be, oh yeah, Mary's. Oh yeah. Oh my. And it's just incredible how much insanity is out there. It's like, oh yeah, but they're not the you know, people will use that, yeah, they're not the same and blah 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 and all that. Why would they be the same, you know? You already see in the book of Luke that it says, you know, that because people believe that he was, you know, that it, so it's already saying, you know, so it's clearly, it's just, anyway. Any case, so in the seal 6, we have, I remember, I think that was the first time I was in Israel, and one of the Jews, and it's like, I didn't understand why. It seems like he felt like it was my problem to show that Jesus was the Messiah and to answer his questions. And I was like, why is it my problem? It's your problem. You know, I already figured out that Jesus is God Almighty and all that. So if you can't see that, isn't it your problem? You know, but you know, that's the battle going on in regards of, you know, it's like, anyway, but we have the Great Tribulation. We are told that these people that has been, you know, that is unnumbered of people that has died in the tribulation, you know, and that these are from the tribulation, you know, so it's like, okay, so have we had the tribulation yet? And if you say no, well then we haven't had the 7th seal broken, and we haven't had the trumpets blown yet. So let's see here. When is the trumpets being blown? Is that it's probably the 7th seal, but let's see. And when he opened the 7th seal, there came to be silence in the heaven for about half an hour. And I saw the 7 messengers who stand before Elohim, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And to another messenger came and stood at the slaughter place. Well, anyway, see here if we, I think if I, yeah, okay. So the first one in regards to the trumpet, right, and second trumpet, and the third trumpet, and the fourth trumpet, and all that. You know, the world had already butchered, you know, huge amount of Christians at that point, you know. And now they're getting judged by this in regards of these trumpets. So you know, it just so in regards of wherever we are, we cannot go further than seal 5. Now again, in regards to these 4 horsemen and all that, you know, you know, I haven't, you know, there's a lot of puzzle pieces and all that, but yeah, of course, if we are in the 5th seal, then those 4 horsemen has to be found, right? They has to be in the world. Of course, Alberto Rivera did believe that they already were, so he was absolutely testifying that the 4 horsemen was released, you know, into the world. So I'm not sure if he further went into the timeline. I don't think he did. So, but yeah, just trying to collect the puzzle pieces here. So we have 7 seals, 7 trumpets, and in the 6th trumpet, I think we have. Is there something in regards to the? Yeah, we have the 7 thunders as well. We also still seem to have some that is witnessing to people. I don't know in regards to the 144,000 that are sealed in the head. In regards to if they are actually surviving these periods, or how that is going to work. It seems like at least there must be going some prophecy, some testimony out, so people are repenting to the truth and being killed as well. There must be a lot of things going on at that point. Having an unnumbered of people dying. In regards to how all this adds up, it's still very hard to figure things totally out, because a lot of things seems to be going on at that period of time. So yeah. So how it all, fixes together, it's just. So we're going, further in regards of the 7. We have the 7th seal being broken and all the things to see here. Is this the last one? Yes, we have the last 3 woes. And the 7th messenger sounded, and there came to be loud voices in the heavens, saying, "The reign of this world has become the reign of our Master and of his Messiah, and he shall reign forever and ever." So, as far as I know, Jesus, of course, is coming back to to this world and to set up his kingdom, and that would be fulfilled at the 7 trumpet blow. So the reign of the kingdom of this world we are living in, has become the kingdom of our Master and of his Messiah, and he shall reign forever and ever. And we know in the book of Revelation that Jesus is going to throw the papacy, or the first beast of the number 666, into the lake of fire. That will be the Roman beast. Because we know the Roman beast also in the book of Daniel is destroyed, when the little horn is destroyed. And of course the little horn is also the papacy 666, So thinking to change times and laws, we have the beast in the book of Revelation, the little horn in the book of Daniel, and you fix all the pieces together, you get a picture, a more grander picture in regards of things. Of course, the little horn is sitting on the Roman beast, and the Roman beast is going to just be destroyed, in the book of Daniel. In the book of Revelation, you have the beast being destroyed. But there are, there are things of the same thing, they're just more details, on these things, making up a picture, giving us more information when we dig into these things and figure things out. Pinpointing to where the beast of the number 666 is. And of course, he also has a kingdom, a Roman kingdom. Yeah, so when Jesus Christ returns, when Yeshua HaMashiach returns, he destroys the beast. It's over for the beast. And the false prophet that makes the whole world worship this beast is done away as well. As far as I know, that is the Jesuits. That's interesting, because you have the white poop and you have the black poop, the shadow of the white poop, the superior general Jesuit nonsense bullshitter. Anyway, that looks like a lamb yet speaks like a dragon, false prophet, anyway. Which also is said to actually have birth, preterism and futurism, but you still have, one of the so-called historians, but he's all into the trumpet and all that. He's one of those that just goes into the trumpet, and but you can still, get some good meat. You just have to spit out a lot of the bones. But any case, so he talks about, actually the Christians in the past actually understood it as 3.5 years. Wait, what did you say? So we have documents from the past believing that it was 3.5 years. Oh, instead of, the day for a year principle. But the thing is, what I came to conclude as well, at least, if you take at least one of the places, this can't be a day for a year principle, This is at the end, and I sadly don't have my Revelation book with me. It would have been a little, it's not, of course I could use the computer here, but on this level it's just nicer to actually sit with a book. But one of the SDA videos I saw had this where they gathered all those numbers, right? 1263.5 year, and 42 months, and gathering all the things. And I was trying to figure, looking at the things, and just because they are the same timeline doesn't mean it might not be the same time, might be different things. Just because it has the same, it might still be, but at least one of them, when it talks about it, one of the places, it just doesn't seem like it could be a day for a year principle. And then when you figure out that apparently some Christians in the past didn't believe that either, then you are just okay. At least some of the documents that we have on this subject apparently seems to believe it's 3.5 years. And I think I actually do have some of the documents that I was reading from the past on this subject. Anyway. This natural stuff is really taking its toll on me for sure. And on my brain. Anyway. So he was, the guy that actually made all these videos, he was testifying that apparently, yes, there are, in regards to the past, where they believed it was 3.5 years. And I'm like, but then he begins to say, well, that was because they didn't understand. And I'm like, wait a minute. But he talks about they couldn't have known that would have gone, 2,000 years and whatever, a long time and all that. So they believed that it was, but, it's just, maybe they actually did understand. But anyway, but it's just interesting to see that actually there was Christians in the past that actually believed this to be the case. Or whatever you want to call them, they proclaim themselves as Christians, I'm sure, but you have Roman Catholics as well amongst, you have the wheat with the tares, So you always have to discern when reading material, but that's not to say that you can't learn anything from Roman Catholic sources. You indeed can. You just have to be careful. Any case, so what was it in regards of? So we have the seventh trumpet, and now Jesus Christ have taken over the world. And the nations were enraged, and your wrath has come, and the time of the dead to be judged, and to give the reward to your servants, the prophets, and to the set apart ones, and to those who fear your name, small and great, and to destroy those who destroy the earth. And the dwelling place of Elohim was open, or God was open in the heaven, and the ark of his covenant was seen in his dwelling place, and there came to be lightnings and voices and thunders and an earthquake and a great hail. Now, I was kind of not, just because there's a chapter division, it's kind of, you have to be careful in regards of the ending of chapters and all that, because they were inserted later on. But it does seem to be actually the end in regards of this. Because there's another place in the book of Revelation where it also seems to be the end. We're being retold the story again in some sense, it seems. After the seven, trumpets and all that, it seems to end here with this place in regards to lightning and voices and thunders and an earthquake and great hail. because it seems like it's also ending at that point in the other story, like retelling it on a, from a different view. But we start out, and a great sign was seen in the heaven, a woman clad with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. And being pregnant, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. And another sign was seen in the heaven, and see a great fiery, how do you say that, fiery red dragon? I'm not sure I say that correctly. But anyway, it seems like it's regathering information from another point of view. How to say?
Fiery.
Fiery. I'm not sure that's how to pronounce fiery. I'm gonna see.
We are looking at how to pronounce this word in English,
Yeah, just-
designating something consisting of fire or burning strongly and brightly. It can also mean something having the bright color of fire. How do you go about pronouncing it? Fiery.
Fiery, okay, fiery. Okay. So we have this fiery red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on his head. By the way, it seems like those crowns, when you see, we have the dragon, then you have the beast. But if you look at it, the crowns are not at the same place. Because those 7 crowns are of course giving over to the beast. And you see the beast where you have crowns. It seems like this, like a, go from Satan to whatever. I can't. My brain is just not up to it apparently. And his tail draws a third of the stars of the heaven and throws them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth to devour her child as soon as it was born. So, and she bore a male child who was to shepherd all nations with a rod of iron. That would of course be Jesus Christ. And her child was caught away to God and to his throne. So he's caught away, I guess. That must be after his execution and resurrection. He is then caught away again. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God to be nourished there 1,260 days. I guess that's a place where we have one of the numbers of 1,260. And there came to be fighting in the heaven. Michael and his messengers fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his messengers fought. But they were not strong enough, nor was a place found for them in the heavens any longer. And the great dragon was thrown out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who leads all the world astray. He was thrown to the earth, and his messengers were thrown out with him. And so forward. And I heard a loud voice saying in the heaven, now have come the deliverance and the power and the reign of our God, and the authority of his Messiah, for the accuser of our brothers who accused them before our God day and night has been thrown down. And they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their witness, and they did not love their lives unto death. Because of this rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, knowing that he has little time. So, but yeah, it seems like when you go further into the story, it seems to be, it seems to end like these trumpets ending. So it seems like you have pieces here, pieces there, and you need to, it gives you details on things from different views, retelling things from another angle, giving you more pieces to what is going on. Now we have and I saw another sign in the heaven, great and marvelous, 7 messengers having the 7 last plagues, for the wrath of God was ended in them. So here we have in regards to the wrath of God, and of course that should be before in regards of, I think it was talking about at the end in regards of when it's done, so that would be, you know, very close to the end. What was it when they talked about that? Let's see. See if I can remember where it was. Messenger. Okay, we have another strong messenger coming down from heaven. Let's see. I think it was something in regards of wrath, right? 11, 12 maybe. No, 12 is already. Okay. Wrath. Let's see, wrath. Uh-oh. That opened up a lot of things. Of course, I could search on wrath, but it should be around here. Wrath, wasn't that the judgment, the wrath? And the nations were enraged, and your wrath has come, and the time of the dead to be judged, and to give the... Okay, so here we have at least something in regards of... And the nations were enraged. But anyway, back to number 15. I'm not on top. But, you need to fix it together. So we have 7 plagues as well. But when the 7th plague is ended... Then it talks about some of the same things as where was it? Here they begin to pull out the things. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, and the 7th messenger put out his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came out of the dwelling place of the heaven from the throne, saying, "It is done." And there came to be noises and thunders and lightnings, and there came to be a great earthquake, such a mighty and great earthquake as had not came to be since men were on the earth. So if you take that and look at the ending of the seals and the trumpets, the last trumpet and all that, then you can see there seems to be, agreement that this seems to be the same that it's talking about, as far as I can see. That there came to be noises and thunders and lightning, so there came to be a great earthquake, such a mighty and great earthquake as had not came to be since men were on earth, right? And we go back, this is Revelation 16, 18. And if we go back to the story of the ending of someplace, 11 maybe? Yeah, and the dwelling place, this is the end of Revelation 11. And the dwelling place of Elohim was opened in the heaven, and the ark of his covenant was seen in his dwelling place. And there came to be lightnings, and voices, and thunders, and an earthquake, and great hail. So if you take this from 19, and this is the end of the first story, and then go to, what was it, 17? I can't remember. Just forgotten it already, 16 maybe? I can't remember. Yeah, here we go, 16, 18. If you take those and just put, one of them, it's one says, and the dwelling place of Elohim was opened in the heaven, and the ark of his covenant was seen in his dwelling place, and there came to be lightnings, and voices, and thunders, and an earthquake, and great hail. Now if you compare that to the other one, and there came to be noises, well, we have noises, right? No, maybe we don't have noises in the other. There came to be lightning and voices. Well, noises, voices. Well, okay. And thunders. Well, we have thunders, right? Yeah, we have thunders in both. Lightnings. Yeah. I of course I should check the Greek as well in regards of the what is behind the text. Noises, voices. Anyway, there's no strongs in this. I need the King James version here. Lightnings, thunders, let's see, voices, that's phone, a voice. We just go to the other one, we could check if it's somewhat of the same that is being used. Because sometimes translations, sadly, tend to translate same words as different words and doesn't make it easier. So you need to go back to the Greek or the Aramaic or the Hebrew, to check if it actually is the same word, and if it's the same word, any case. So earthquake, yeah. So we have earthquake. No, wait. We have noises and voices. I don't know if that's the same, but that's at least, thunders are, lightnings, and there came to be a great earthquake. Both of them have earthquake, such as mighty and great earthquake as had not came to be since men were on the earth. It also talks about hail in one, but it doesn't talk about hail in the other. It does also give us some information that the earthquake is something that is huge, gigantic, according to one, and not the other, right? So one talks about hails, whereas the other doesn't. And the other talks about, that the earthquake is gigantic, right? But it seems to be the end in both stories. So it seems to be like, we already know that we are at the end, right? In one story and the other story. And then again, we see this thing, because I was like concerned, is this really the end in regards to the chapter? Because it just seems like, when is it actually ending and beginning in regards of, in regards of the woman being seen? Is this part of the woman, or is this where are we stopping and starting, right? And it does seem to be the correct place that the chapter would, cut it out. But that's not always the case, just look at chapter 1 in the book of Genesis, already the first chapter they get it wrong, the ending after the 6th day, you gotta be kidding me. No, you have a 7th day, it's the whole week, and then it begins, then we have a, even the Jews seems in the Hebrew to also have understood that, that, hey, we have but apparently someone has been drinking too much of the red wine or whatever, but, fixing a chapter division after day 6 and not after day 7. So, I don't know, but that's just ridiculous. How could people not see the issue with that? I don't know. So after this, one of the 7 messengers, or angels usually translate, but angels is really from the Greek, angelos, and angelos just means a messenger, and angelos of course comes from the Hebrew malach, which again means messenger. But anyway, and one of the 7 messengers who had the 7 bowls, or bowls, or whatever you pronounce it, came and spoke with me, saying to me, come, I shall show you the judgment of the great horse sitting on many waters. So we get some more information in regards of the whore sitting on the many waters. The many waters is many people, with whom the kings or the sovereigns of the earth committed whoring, and the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her whoring. Yeah, the people of the world, were made drunk with the wine of her whoring. Yeah. And he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast covered with names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. having 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay. So, oh yeah, by the way, and he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on the scarlet beast. Now, I don't know what the King James verse says, but apparently some say it's, like Dave Hunt talks about that she's riding on the beast. No. And then people will say, well, she's riding and steering the beast. No, she's sitting on the 7 heads. So she's already there from the beginning of Romanism. We already have Pontifex Maximus giving his orders, according to Wikipedia, by the second king that would be representing the first head. So the second king, in regards of Romanism, in regards of this beast, is giving the commandments to the Pontifex Maximus. Who's the Pontifex Maximus today? Well, go right to the Pope and ask him, are you the Pontifex Maximus, the bridge builder? And he should say, yes, I am. The high pagan priest of bullshit? Hey. Anyway. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, that would be the Christians, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Again, I don't know in regards to how that actually, I would have you would have been, thinking about seeing this disgusting, filthy, you would just be anyway, you would be, I'm not sure it's actually I wondered with great admiration. Awestruck, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and the beast that carried her. And of the beast that carried her, which had the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. Oh, don't we also have the man, the son of perdition? Well, anyway, the beast of perdition, the son of perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life, that would be the book of the Lamb, from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. Now, if we know in regards of, God, Jesus Christ, who was, is, and is to come, right? The beast is who was and is not and yet is, Anyway, and here is the mind which hath wisdom, the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. There we go. She's sitting, the woman is sitting on the 7 heads. Okay, do you get that? It's incredible when people are drawing up this woman, right? Oh, she's sitting or riding on the... No. She's sitting on the 7 heads, which are also 7 mountains, which would also be, in some sense, 7 horns, although I don't think it's... But, kings. Here's the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, okay? So the 7 heads, 7 mountains, kingdoms, whatever, although it, might be different in regards of rules, but, different, what do you call it? I can't remember. Different variations. It's still Romanism, but it has, what's it called? Different rulings, different government types, I guess, would probably be, So we have the same beast, And we have it in like, we have one head and then another head and then another head and then another head and then another head, and you know, and then you have, after the 7 heads, you have the 8, which is one of the 7. Okay? Anyway, and that's the papacy of the number 666. You have, you know, your Caesars in the time, or the emperors or whatever, in the times of John, which is the 6th head, right? And then you have the dukes for a time, and then you have the papacy coming afterwards. Anyway, that's just the best that I can do. Okay, you know, take it or leave it. You know, that's the best that I can do for with what picture, you know, what puzzle pieces of, you know. The thing is that many people use these 7 mountains as in regards to Rome, and of course the whole is Rome, the great city that rules over the kingdoms of the earth. But you know, and that could maybe have been one of the ways to help us in regards to that level. But usually in prophecy, you know, you 7 heads, okay, 7 mountains, pretty much the same thing as 7, you know, 7 horns, and which are 7 kings. Again, one king can represent multiple kings in regards of. So you have these different symbols using for, you know, fixing. Anyway, so 7 heads. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. So she's sitting. Where does it say anything that she's riding on the beast? She's just sitting on the beast, okay? She's sitting. She's not riding around. She's not stirring the beast. No. She's sitting on the authority of the beast. The authority that the beast got from the devil, she's sitting on. Okay. Anyway. And there are 7 kings, 5 have fallen, so you have, you know, 7 kings. 5 have fallen, you know, we have, again, you have 1, 2, 3, you know, you have multiple heads going, you know. So, and there are 7 kings, 5 have fallen, and 1 is. That's the 6th head. And the other is not yet come. So, the 7th head has not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the dukes were there for a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. So we have these different, you know, heads. I usually use heads. You could use mountains. You have 7 mountains, 7 Roman mountains, 7 kings, and then you have the last one, which is the beast itself, you know. So, and we know who was ruling in the days of John. Rome, 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 your boat down the stream. Oh, you know. Anyway, So we know from the book of Daniel as well that the beast is Roman until the end. So when people are saying, well, this, you know, it has to be Roman, the whole beast of the book of Revelation has to be Roman in nature. And it's talking about the past, the present, and the future of this beast, giving us more details on it. So, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. So we have the horns, which again you could say, well, you know, but these are 10 horns, right? So you have 10 horns, which thou sawest. And again, you can use the thing in regards of a horn being a beast, being a mountain, a king, you know. But anyway, so you have 10 horns, which thou sawest are 10 kings. So yeah, there we go. So there are 10 kings. So you have 10 horns, 10 kings, which thou sawest are 10 kings. So there we go with the horns being, you know, kings and kings' horns and all that. Which have received no kingdom as of yet. There we go into the kingdom here. But receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So these are still future in the future, okay? They're not the same as those in the book of Daniel, where 3 are going to be ripped up, already have, you know, been. been ripped up, one, coming forward. That's the little horn that is present today of the number 666, the Antichrist. So just because you have something that looks very much like something else, 10 here and 10 here, doesn't mean it's the same thing, okay? Because these 10 kings are going to rule with the beast in the future, whereas the other 3 kings already have, been here, and 3 of them was ripped up, and then the little horn came forward. That's in the past. The 10 kings, which will rule, will give their power to the beast, will be future, still future, as far as I know. So they will be the last, and the 10 horns which thou sawest, the 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So just 1 hour, not for that long a time, they will, give their dominion to the beast. And these have one mind, and they shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So these shall make war with the Lamb. Now again, that's future. And the Lamb shall overcome them. That would be Jesus Christ. Yeshua, when they go against, Yeshua, they were going to be crushed, You think about how extraordinary it is that people would be so full of pride and so full of themselves, so they would go against God and think that they can win, Anyway, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called chosen and faithful. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are the peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Yeah. So we are, people, waters, people, And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, he shall hate the whole, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So at some point, the whole will be destroyed, that is sitting on the 7 heads of the beast. I have yet to see, as far as I know, I have yet to see a picture where the whole actually sits on the 7 heads, which of course are 7 mountains, right? Which would also be, 7 kings. It is interesting how we have 7 heads, and then we have 1 in the end, which is the beast itself, right? It's interesting how, but that's, but we are very far pretty much in prophecy, we are so far in prophecy, and things can go very quickly nowadays. The technology is pretty much, in regards to the mark of the beast, the number 666. By the way, the number 666 is also affiliated with sun worship. Yeah, what a big surprise. Anyway, for God had put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of God shall be fulfilled. So I don't know how, in regards to the 10 kings will destroy the whole at some point, right? But is that going to be before Jesus Christ returns or what? That would be seemingly, that the 10 kings destroys the whole. We also know Jesus Christ talks about the parable that the tares will be destroyed first and then the wheat. So this could maybe happen in the tribulation period, that the tares would be burned first and then they come after the Christians afterwards, I don't know. But then of course the 10 kings would then be at that point already at seal 5. No, seal 6, right? Yeah. If that would be then the 6th seal, when they're destroying the Christians in regards to the Great Tribulation, if that's going to be, but that would be, I would think, as far as because that's where a huge amount of people will be destroyed, right? And if Jesus is saying the tares have to be burned first and then the wheat, I'm not sure if I'm just thinking out of the box here. I'm just thinking. But whatever the case, that it could be maybe a possibility. I haven't put, again, there's a lot of puzzle pieces, and I'm kind of, trying to best that I can, right? And I'm not even sure, in the past, I wouldn't even have seen this as important, really. I didn't really see these things as important because, things are going to happen as they will, right? Whether we get it right or wrong, or, things will go as, But, I was thinking, we need to just to save people, to get people out of this, that would be the important thing, right? But apparently I've gotten into all these things as well. And clearly, of course, we're told these things by God, right? And not to be deceived by the wicked system of the whole, which, Rome and Roman Catholicism and Romanism overall is this wicked, filthy system. Now, just because the whole is going to be destroyed in the future, Romanism seems to still go on, as far as I can see, for a time, until the papacy continues without the whole. We have a closure of things. Anyway, I guess it's okay to take a break.